Hello everyone, welcome to Lukman IS. Today we are going to have the Hindu analysis of 19th November 2020. So let us see which are the important articles in today's The Hindu newspaper. These are the important articles for mains purpose and for prelims purpose. Let us see what is given in this article and take input for our examination. First article on page number 6, editorial page. The context of the article here that our Prime Minister recently addressed Bloomberg New Economic Forum for, let's say, urban planning and development. So in that address, our Prime Minister has emphasized that the post COVID-19 urban planning and development needs resetting of mindset, processes and practices of safe urban living. Okay, so this is the need of the hour, that our present urban cities and metropolis has some problems such as the high density of population, slums, or especially we can say that the COVID-19 pandemic infection rates that spread in urban cities, where social distancing norms were not easily able to follow because of such dense population. At the same time, the affordable housing, rental housing, that is not available in our cities, and that's why the kind of reverse migration that we observed after the lockdown period. So this is what the article is discussing, the need of the hour. Okay, at the Bloomberg New Economic Forum, our Prime Minister emphasized resetting the mindset, processes and practices for safe urban living and acknowledged that the governments actually do little for working millions. Rapid transmission in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai was inevitable outcome of densification and inability to practice social distancing norms. Okay, in globally recognized Dharavi, which has one of the world's highest slum densities, the epidemiologists attribute the seemingly low viral impact to screening and herd immunity. So as we know that in Mumbai, after lockdown period, the earliest, let's say, spread of this virus in Mumbai happened in Dharavi region, and this threatened millions of people living in that slum region, and therefore the immediate care taken on the basis of screening, large scale screening was done, and herd immunity that has been, let's say, observed in that region, that has led to low viral impact. Analysis says that a good affordable housing is cornerstone of sustainable and healthy city, but it also represents India's weakest link. So it is cornerstone, and it is, we can say that, weakest link in India. We do not have such good affordable housing. Unlike speculative housing investment, a well-designed rental housing that is key to protecting migrant laborers and other less affluent sections remains poorly funded. So this is the need of the hour, a well-designed rental housing for migrant labor and poor people in the urban areas. Ministry of Housing, which has thus far focused on limited set of expensive showpiece of smart cities, could work on this imperative with the states, digitally aggregating and transparently publishing data on demand and supply for each city. It is also an open secret that laws on air pollution, municipal solid waste management and water quality are hardly enforced in the city, and tokenism marks the approach to urban mobility. So these are the problems other than let's say affordable rental housing in the urban areas. So we can see that in the past also, past scourges such as cholera, plague and the global flu pandemic a century ago led to change, a sewerage, a waste handling, social housing and health care that reduced the disease. Governments are now challenged by the pandemic to show the political will to reinvent cities. So in conclusion, we can say that in the past also such kind of pandemic has led to let's say changes in the kind of processes, practices and mindset in urban planning and development, and that has led to reduction of such kind of pandemic in the past, and now the COVID-19 pandemic presents such opportunity to bring changes in our urban settings. Fine. So yes, good affordable housing is the cornerstone of the sustainable and healthy city, but it represents India's weakest link. Examine the statement. Such kind of question we can expect in especially GS2 paper, governance. ठीक है, तो urban development, rural development is part of governance process, polity and urban governance and social justice also. So in GS3 also they can ask from economic perspective, and in GS1 there is urbanization topic from social perspective. So somehow these inputs can be taken for each of this paper. Next, the storage tale of two vaccines. So recently we have seen in news that two important developments in the let's say vaccine development of COVID-19. One is Pfizer company announced its early results, and other is Moderna company announced its earlier results of efficacy of its COVID-19 vaccines. And the article is discussing the significant difference between these two vaccines, especially related to a kind of cold storage requirements for the vaccine delivery. Okay, so yes, a week after Pfizer announced encouraging results of its mRNA vaccine for COVID-19 based on the interim analysis of large phase 3 trials underway, data from phase 3 of the vaccine of US based Moderna released encouraging results. तो उन्होंने भी बोला है कि ये 94.5% एफिकेसी है. इन्होंने बोला था कि ये अर्लियर 90% है. ठीक है, इन्होंने बोला है 95.5%. Importantly, Moderna revealed that vaccine might be able to prevent severe disease. Okay, a striking difference between them lies better thermostability at relatively higher temperatures. The stability of Moderna vaccine at minus 20 degrees Celsius for up to 6 months and 2 to 8 degrees Celsius for 30 days and at room temperature for 12 hours will be critical for a broad rollout of vaccine in most of the countries, especially in developing countries. Okay, in contrast, Pfizer's mRNA vaccine requires storage at minus 70 to minus 80 degrees Celsius, which makes vaccine shipping and vaccine storage logistics a nightmare even in developed countries. So this is the basic difference, and that's why the Moderna vaccine is now we are calling the development is very significant, and it will be impossible for countries in the global south, so developing and underdeveloped countries, to establish facilities at large scale in short time. Against this background, Moderna's vaccine offers great promise. Okay. On November 12, Germany-based CureVac 2 reported that mRNA vaccine is stable for up to 3 months at 5 degrees Celsius and up to 24 hours at room temperature. So such vaccines will be more, we can say, beneficial and convenient for developing countries where such cold storage facilities are not available extensively, especially in rural areas. So that's why such those vaccines which are effective at room temperature, or just we can say that 2 to 8 degrees Celsius temperature, that will be very good. Most districts in India that are under the universal immunization program already have facilities to store huge volumes of oral polio vaccine at minus 20 degrees Celsius. Hence, Moderna's mRNA vaccine can be made available in most parts of the country, as it remains stable for 30 days at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. However, no vaccine manufacturer in India has tied up with Moderna to make vaccine in India. So this is the problem. We can say we should work on this aspect. Up till now, we had tie-up with different global vaccine platforms, development platforms. For example, Dr. Reddy's laboratories has tie-up with Sputnik 5 vaccine of Russia, manufacturing of that vaccine. At the same time, Serum Institute of India has tie-up with this Oxford developed vaccine, COVID-19 vaccine. So such kind of tie-ups are there, but for Moderna up till now there is no such kind of developments or tie-up. So there is need of such mRNA vaccine development at room temperature especially. Okay, so cold storage is important factor in developing and underdeveloped countries. Moving on, Army builds extreme weather habitats for troops in Ladakh. We know that recently, because of the standoff along LAC, Indian Army has mobilized large number of troops in Ladakh before this start of winter season, and for their, let's say, difficult and extreme temperature conditions in that region, such habitats, extreme weather habitats for troops have been developed in that region. In order to ensure operational efficiency of the troops deployed in winters, the army established the establishment of habitat facilities for all troops deployed in this sector. Additional facilities like state of the art with integrated arrangement of electricity, water, heating facilities, health and hygiene have been recently created. So, troops on the front line were accommodated in the heated tents as per tactical considerations of the deployment. The altitude in Ladakh where troops are deployed ranges from 14,000 feet to 18,000 feet, and their areas experience up to 40 feet of snowfall from December onwards. Coupled with the wind chill factor, the temperature dips minus 40 degrees Celsius, disrupting road access to the area for some time. So, this is the important factor here. At the same time, Army recently procured 15,000 extreme weather clothing from US under bilateral logistic pact LEMOA, Logistic Exchange Memorandum Understanding, for additional troops in Ladakh. So, these are the important developments तो जो LAC के along build-up हो रहा है. Up till now we know that the final disengagement and de-escalation plan has not been finalized. Still we can say that there are good developments at the diplomatic talks, and at the same time the corps commander level talks between two armies. However, for the welfare and we can say that protection of our army in that extreme temperature conditions, these measures have been taken. Fine. Next, finance panel for PPPs on health infrastructure, public private partnership, PPP. Okay, so our 15th finance commission has mooted a greater role for public private partnership to ramp up health infrastructure and scale up public spending on health from at present 0.95% of GDP to 2.5% by 2024, NK Singh, the chairman of the panel, said. While public outlays should focus on primary health care at the panchayat and municipality level, yani ki local level, private players should be relied on for specialty health care, hinting that Commission has recommended steps to fix the skewed availability of health care across India as poorer states have worse facilities. Okay. Mr. Singh recommended substantial improvements in the working conditions of doctors in the government hospitals, many of whom are hired on the contract basis by the states, and the creation of Indian Medical Service cadre as envisaged under Civil Services Act 1951. So, all India service or a dedicated cadre of civil services, Indian Medical Service, such kind of services, the panel or the commission has is said to have recommended directly creating Indian Medical Service under this Act of Parliament. Okay. So, yes, we will see that after the final report has been made public, once it is tabled in the Parliament, but in the health sector it is said that these recommendations have been given by the commission. Some important facts that are given in the article, like inadequate spending. We can see here the states spending the most, like states, Delhi is spending very high level per capita public expenditure on healthcare, Himachal Pradesh and then Jammu Kashmir. Those states spending very less, Bihar, West Bengal and Uttar Pradesh. You can see the facts per capita public expenditure on healthcare. Okay, so this is yearly. We can say that northeastern states excluding Assam spend this much amount per capita on healthcare, 3,770. So that is good thing. Northeastern states are very much we can say giving concern to public health sector, but some states do not have such kind of facilities, and that is why the skewed availability of healthcare across India as poorer states have worst facilities. The commission has given recommendation from that aspect also. Yes, who won the war over Karabakh? So yes, this Nagorno-Karabakh conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Earlier also we discussed in September month as well as October month, as the conflict escalated during these months. This article provides how recent, let's say, these two countries, how the peace process has come to end, or let's say the Russia brokered the peace process here between these two countries, and now there is peace process going on between these countries. Now what is important for us now in this article is that the background, that how war or this Nagorno-Karabakh region, how it becomes the conflictual region, at the same time the recent war and kind of conflicts, who supported which country, तो वो हमें पता होना चाहिए. At the same time the future challenges. Okay, so you can see here the Azerbaijan Armenia conflict. Geography perspective से कुछ important चीज़ें पता होनी चाहिए. For example, this is Azerbaijan country. Baku is the capital, and here it adjoins the Caspian Sea. At the same time, this country Armenia, you can see here Yerevan is the capital city, and on this side it has, let's say, coast with Mediterranean Sea, and the South Caucasus mountains passes through these two countries. So conflict in Caucasus ऐसे भी बोला जाता है यहाँ पे, ठीक है. तो Caucasus mountains, South Caucasus या Lesser Caucasus mountains, they pass through these two countries, and therefore the question may say that the geopolitics of South Caucasus or the conflict in South Caucasus, तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि वो conflict ये है, Armenia and Azerbaijan. The second thing you need to understand here is that Azerbaijan is largely the country having, let's say, ethnic similarities with Turkey, or we can say Muslim dominated countries, a kind of ethnicity there. And while in Armenia we can find the Christian majority in the Armenia, and this is the conflict in this region. Now this is the Nagorno-Karabakh region, here conflicted region, and this Nagorno-Karabakh region was taken up by Armenia, while this is the territory of Azerbaijan. Okay, internationally accepted territory of Azerbaijan. However, we can say that after that 1991 war, Armenia took over this conflicted territory, and now in September month Azerbaijan declared war, and we can say some of this territory is now captured by Azerbaijan. Also you need to know that this Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic is also part of Azerbaijan. तो ये एक isolated patch यहाँ पे रह गया अजरबैजान का, और बीच में यहाँ पे आर्मेनिया की टेरिटरी आती है. Now this Lachin corridor is the connecting link between Azerbaijan and Armenia. तो ये सारी चीज़ें आपको इसमें दिखेगी, यहाँ पे सारा जो दिया गया है, that at present this green area shows area captured including Shusha retained by Azerbaijan now. ये जो ग्रीन एरिया है वो कैप्चर किया है अभी अजरबैजान ने. ये जो है ये एरिया है नागोर्नो काराबाख रीजन, नागोर्नो काराबाख रीजन, तो उसमें ये दिखा रहे हैं. एट द सेम टाइम द एरिया डिप्लॉयमेंट ऑफ 2000 रशियन पीस कीपर्स, ये जो एरिया है यहाँ पे दिख रहा है ऑरेंज में. ओके, एट द सेम टाइम द रिमेनिंग रीजन इज नाउ ऑफ आर्मेनिया or dominated by Armenia, and now the peace process is going on. So let us try to understand what background says. Again this will be repetition, but yes, many new students are watching this video, so we can go back to what led to this war. In 1991 when Soviet Union collapsed, the newly independent Armenia and Azerbaijan went to war over this Nagorno-Karabakh region, which had been an autonomous region within Azerbaijan during the Soviet years. तो वो हमेशा अजरबैजान में ही था during the Soviet years. But Armenians have made historical claims over the enclave, which is largely populated by ethnic Armenians. By the time all-out war came to the end 1994, Armenia had captured Nagorno-Karabakh and 7 surrounding districts from Azeri forces. which amounted to some 13% of Azerbaijan territory. In September 2020, Azerbaijan president launched offensive vowing to take back Nagorno-Karabakh, other Armenian occupied districts. In 6 weeks, Azeri forces backed by Turkey supplied armed drones and other equipments cut through Armenian defenses and retook territories including some 40% of Nagorno-Karabakh itself. What was Russia's role to broker the peace here? Russia, which has the security agreement with Armenia, remained neutral in the early days of the war when Turkey threw its weight behind Azerbaijan. Russia brokered the ceasefire 2 weeks into the conflict, but it didn't hold. When Azerbaijan defeated Armenian troops and captured territories, Armenian Prime Minister sought Russian help, but President Putin said security guarantee is for Armenia and not for Armenian in Nagorno-Karabakh, which is conflict region, or you can say internationally accepted region of Azerbaijan. So Russia said that they will help for Armenia but not for Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh region. But Russia was apparently concerned about the rapid change in the status quo, and therefore the assertive security role Turkey was playing in its backyard. Okay, so by the third week, Russia established small military posts along the Armenian border, apparently to prevent conflict being spilled into mainland Armenia. Okay, so Mr. Putin accepted Azerbaijan's victory as the ceasefire allows Azeri troops to take control of territories they have seized, but prevented total defeat of Armenia. Under the pressure from decisive Moscow, both sides agreed to cease the operations now. The terms of truce at present, according to ceasefire, Armenia agreed to withdraw its troops from much of its territory around Nagorno-Karabakh. ठीक है, आर्मेनिया जो है विड्रॉ करने वाला है बहुत सारी टेरिटरी से अभी. The core of the enclave with ethnic Armenians and Stepanakert, its capital, would remain outside the control of Azerbaijan. Baku will build a road linking newly captured territories to Nakhchivan, an autonomous republic of Azerbaijan which has been geographically separated from the mainland, जो अभी हमने दिखाया था मैप में. As the broker of the truce, Russia would send some 2,000 peacekeepers to the region who would patrol between the Azeris troops and Nagorno-Karabakh, including Lachin corridor, which connects the enclave with Armenia. What are the challenges from Turkey for Russia? That Russia could enforce the ceasefire and keep the Turkey and Western countries out of the final talks shows that Moscow remains dominant power in the South Caucasus Mountains region. The war also showed that the Russian dominance in the region could be challenged. Turkey backed Azerbaijan throughout the war against Moscow's wishes and made sure that Azeri side prevailed. If Turkey continues to play assertive role in the region through ally Azerbaijan, a reluctant Moscow would face new rival in the backyard. Yes, so for further information, refer to Hindu analysis of 28th September and 14th October, wherein details of all this background of how war started about this region, Nagorno-Karabakh region, is given in those articles. Okay. Now, from our perspective, such kind of prelims question can be asked. Nagorno-Karabakh region recently seen in news is related to dispute among which of the following two countries? So the answer is Azerbaijan and Armenia. Yes, getting MG-Nariga wages harder than the labor. So the article, or that's one of the study that was done by this LibTech India, found that the MG-Nariga workers do not receive their, we can say, payments immediately. They have to continuously work, or we can say go to these bank branches to withdraw their money for multiple times. This is how the study is talking about the plight of MG-Nariga workers. Yes, they are forced to make multiple trips to the bank, adding travel costs and income losses, and face repeated rejections of payments, biometric errors, wrong information just to get their hands on their wages. The study found that almost 40% of the workers must make multiple trips to the bank's branch to withdraw their money. The study also found that only 1 in 10 workers to get SMS message that their wages have been credited. ठीक है, even in regular times, these last mile challenges make it hard for workers to access their own wages in timely manner. During COVID-19 pandemic, the situation is exacerbated as transport becomes harder and there is no question of physical distancing at rural bank. So this is how the situation of MG Narega workers is there, and we know that because of reverse migration, more and more those workers in the urban areas now working under this scheme MG Narega, and when they are not receiving the wages in the timely manner, we can understand their plight, and especially we can say the kind of livelihood security they do not have even in rural areas now. फाइन. सो ये जो है आपने एसए में, आपके सोशल जस्टिस टॉपिक में, GS2 में, अगर इकोनॉमी में आता है तो उसके लिए फिर आपने ये स्टडी को कोट करना चाहिए. यू शुड रेफर सम फैक्ट्स, सम डेटा फ्रॉम सच काइंड ऑफ स्टडीज. ओके. Vaccine trial showed 95% success, Pfizer. Now earlier Pfizer had declared the we can say early outcomes from the trial that showed 90% effectiveness. Now the final results, it has said that Pfizer company will seek emergency US approval from its COVID-19 vaccine within the days after final trial results showed its shot had 95% of the vaccine success rate and no serious side effects, the drug maker said. So this is good thing, good news. We can say that the efficacy of the vaccine is consistent across different ages and ethnicities. So this is also good thing. The success rate of the vaccine developed by Pfizer and the German partner BioNTech is the highest of any candidate in late stages clinical trials so far. So yes, the very positive development in terms of vaccine and the final results of phase 3 trials have been very promising for this Pfizer vaccine. Okay. Yes, important captions and quotations for that affordable rental housing or urban development. A good affordable housing is the cornerstone of the sustainable and healthy city, but it is also represent India's weakest link. So a very good statement, you can use directly also, or this statement can be there as a part of question also. Okay. Yes, so these were important articles from today's The Hindu newspaper. Try to take input for prelims as well as mains examination. For further information related to editorial discussion classes or ED classes, wherein in-depth analysis of all mains related articles is done by Ansari sir and team, you can contact Lukman IAS. Thank you.